Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the Worldwide Fantasy Federation League Draft.
This is the worst.
Ooh, yeah. Welcome into the worst fantasy show. I am your host with the least, Jack Lucenay. This is one of my favorite episodes that I'll be doing right now. This is for my home league draft. So this is a redraft league that I put together myself. It's a very competitive league. I got to tell you guys, it's a $150 buy-in to start. We got weekly prizes. The first prize is $1,000, but most importantly, the person who finishes in last in this league is banished. That's right, exile for at least 1 year.
Go fuck yourself.
So last year, just to show you how serious it was our co-commissioner and league treasurer. Shout out to my buddy Cody, was the one that got last place in the toilet bowl and banished for at least 1 year. So we will see which of us will get banished this year, but we will get into the draft room because we are starting this shindig off in 2 minutes. I have drawn the last pick. I'll be going from the 12. And worst of all, shout out to my guy Matt Yeager. I know he's out there watching. He's going to be sniping me all night from the 111. We are of two minds sometimes in fantasy football, but for every time he snipes me, I get to snipe him 2 times. That's how I'm looking at it. So I'm very excited about this draft. I've made contact. It's like that thing with home leagues. There's always complications at the last minute, but for the most part, everybody has shown signs of life. People are scrambling home and stuff. But it's just the nature of the beast. It's hard to pin down a schedule for 12 people, right? So I think we've all dealt with that kind of stuff in the past. But yeah, in terms of strategy, I mean, there's not much to it. This is I put out a tweet the other day of how many standard leagues do people even play in anymore. This is as close as it gets. This is a very traditional league on purpose. We have 1 quarterback, 2 wide receiver, 2 running back, 2 flex, kicker, defense, and 6 bench spots. Very normal looking league. It's half PPR. That's pretty much it. That's all there really is to it. So we're really just waiting on this countdown here. As soon as the clock strikes 7, I will hit start draft. And we will be going from the 101. And my guy, Ron Parsons, shout out to him, drew the 101 in the, it was the Royal Rumble simulation that we do every year. So every year I use WWE 2K17. Because I'm old school with my games, I use that in order to decide the draft order. Hey, shout out to Albert in the chat. What's up? Saying what's up, Jack. And shout out to Antonio 10. What up, my guy? So Antonio 10, you'll be drafting with me next week. I think that's the last draft I do is on Wednesday. For the league that just won't die is the new name of this league. It was on Yahoo. I at least got them to convert over to Sleeper, but that's a 10-man league. The scoring in that one is really funky, so make sure you study up on the scoring. I've been repeating over and over, study the scoring, study the scoring. Yo, shout out Herx. My guy Herx with Bijan at 4. That's the kind of move that I would make. I think a lot of times you see Bijan slide in these leagues. Wow, Bijan and Brees. Yeah, see, this is traditional. This is what I love. So McCaffrey, Tyreek, CeeDee Lamb, chalk, Bijan, Brees Hall, pushed up a little bit because of the traditional traditional nature of this league. And then we get Jamar Chase, who still with the lingering contract issues, I'm assuming like Brandon Ayuk, he will be signing sooner rather than later before the start of the regular season. Hopefully that doesn't turn into the Le'Veon Bell situation, but I don't really see that. I don't foresee that, to be honest. I feel like Burrow and Chase are just like attached at the hip forever. And my guy, Sean Churcher, on the clock. He may not be auto drafting. Sean just found out the draft was going on, and by that I mean he remembered that it was going on. So he might actually just be really thinking about his pick here, but we shall see. We shall see. Maybe he's having some technical issues. Hopefully not. There's always, it feels like in every home league, there's always like at least one that's got to get auto drafted, right? But man, yeah, draft season. This is it. This is like the last push for redraft. I just dropped. It's like a little, but I recorded a episode that will come out on Sunday because I will be out of town and out of province even. Oh man, auto picks. Oh, okay. Auto picks St. Brown. So I think he set a Q, which is good. I told everyone like 3 times, set a Q, set a Q. Everybody set a Q. So that at least if you do get auto picked, it auto picks from your list, because otherwise he would have got auto picked Justin Jefferson there. So, and then Justin Jefferson goes immediately after. Oh, I see my guy Jaeger. So we have a separate group chat for on Facebook, and I see him asking, "How is Justin Jefferson slipping? He's got no fucking quarterback. That's how." I mean, what do you want? Sam Darnold and Nick Mullins? Like, yeah. Yeah, let's let them know. And we are on the clock here. Wow, he went AJ. So Jonathan Taylor, Jahmyr Gibbs, and AJ Brown go. When we did the mock draft episode of this, my guy Jaeger here was a lot braver, and he ended up going with Saquon. So that's the pick I'm going to make. I'm going to go with Saquon here. And you know what's funny is I actually have not clicked a lot of it, but I'm going to go with Derrick Henry. I'm just going to double tap running back. I'm going to go high T start. I love Derrick Henry with the Ravens. I feel like that's locked for 15 touchdowns. And to combine that with Saquon Barkley, I love that start. And given that this is half PPR and only starting 2 wide receivers and how deep the wide receiver rookie class is and the wide receiver field in general, and the fact that, you know, I feel like those are 2 really good high-value running backs to get early. Yeah, I'm fine going high T. So this is starting off even way better than I was already hoping. So I'm already ecstatic about my 2 first picks. And then Jaeger out here goes AJ Brown, Travis Etienne. I do love that start for him. I feel like that's a very even start. And my guy Hersky says, I know you were going to go King Henry. Yeah, you know what's funny is, again, I have not done a lot of that, I feel like, in a lot of the leagues I've been playing in. But in so many of those leagues, I've been in like, it's like full PPR, and then there's like all these weird bonuses and shit where it kind of drives down the value of a traditional running back. And Derrick Henry just kind of goes at this weird place where I haven't actually drafted a lot of him. Saquon, I have so much Saquon this year that if he doesn't pan out, that's going to be the one that kills all my teams because of the high draft count. Like last year for me, that was Nick Chubb, which was just like an unfortunate injury. It's not predictable. Like, obviously, no one was out here being like, oh, yeah, Nick Chubb's going to displace his fucking knee and have a career-ending, like a near career-ending injury in the first week. I think it was like week 2 or whatever it was. So, like, beyond something catastrophic, right? I feel like Saquon and Derrick Henry, there are 2 really solid, safe picks to get like 1,000+ rushing yards. And then, you know, 10 to 15 rushing touchdowns. Or, you know, with Saquon, I think he has a little bit more all-purpose. With Saquon, I like him so much because DeAndre Swift was good because he played for the Eagles. Like, I don't think people realize, like, and I like DeAndre Swift as a player, but he is pumped up by how well he did for the Eagles as opposed to how talented he is as an individual player. Is this live or pre-recorded? Right now, this is live, my guy, the roll FF. So I know it's confusing, but the drafts that I've been doing have all been live. My pre-recorded is going up on Sunday. I was kind of talking about it earlier. I'm going to be out of town for a couple days. And so I have a pre-record that's going to go up on Sunday, and then I'll be back. We're going to do 2 episodes next week probably, and we'll be back to 3 a week. Sunday mornings I'll always be doing live, and then during the week we'll be a little bit mixed up. Like sometimes I'll do a live on a Monday, sometimes it'll be a pre-record. Same thing for the whether I do them on Wednesday or Thursday episodes. Those will also be like, if I do them Wednesday night, probably live. If it goes up Thursday morning, it's probably pre-recorded. But yeah. So from Travis Etienne, we get Garrett Wilson, Drake London, Marvin Harrison Jr. So I like the double wide receiver start for Ginaldo, who, shout out to him. He was on 5-Hole Fantasy Hockey Taxi Squad podcast. So they subbed in last year for 5-Hole Fantasy guys who had to take a year off. And I'm a big fantasy hockey nerd. So shout out to him. He joined the football league. So he's giving his hand at the football. But then my guy, Sean Churcher, also went Puka Nacua. And then we get Kyron Williams, Josh Jacobs, Devon Achane for some high T teams. And then this is my guy, Mike, goes CeeDee Lamb and Isaiah Pacheco. I like that start. Hey, Pacheco. Hey, I'm a running back. Hey, and they just cut. Hey, my backup today. But they signed some Samaje Perine, and now some people are worried. What the fuck is going on, my guy?
Drop that, skirt that, pop that, hey.
Chris Olave goes next. I'm not a big Olave truther, but I don't hate it. Tyreek and Olave doubled up there together. And we're back at my guy, Ron Parsons. He's out here teaching, he said. He's like teaching a class or something. Teach them about some fantasy football. Ask them who would they pick here. If it was me, I mean, Brandon Ayuk, we can talk about, just re-signed a big contract finally with the San Francisco 49ers. All this moping around, not in uniform, all for naught, as it turns out that, man, what an Aaron Rodgers-esque, very wide receiver diva-esque, trope for the offseason to have this lingering story the entire offseason, all these trade talks, all these, all these people, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Not prospecting, but like prognosticating. Yeah, something like that. Some big ass fancy fucking word. All these people trying to predict Brandon Knight. Oh, is my guy gonna get Audra? I hope he said a Q. I told him to set a Q. Set a Q. Q. You know what? I think he said a Q because that is a very Ron Parsons pick. That is so on brand, it hurts. Pun not intended, but it actually worked really well there. Anyways, what I was saying about Brandon Ayuk, the whole off, like, there was no point at any point, even as Steelers fan, when they were like, "Oh, Brandon Ayuk might get traded." No, I was like, "No, he's not. No, he's not." I never thought he was getting traded from the 49ers. It made no sense. I'm glad they signed him to a big contract. I think that means that Debo's time is now, on a limited run for probably 1 to 2 years, and then they'll move on from Debo Samuel. But I think they're going for another shot at the Super Bowl this year. Like, assuming health for that team, they are, one of the best teams in the NFC. There's no reason they couldn't get back to a Super Bowl. So I think that's exactly what they're thinking. Ooh, and after all that talk, my guy takes Brandon Ayuk. So it's a really nice start. I like the balanced start for Ron going McCaffrey, Hurts, and Brandon Ayuk. Ayukin. And then Debo Samuel goes next. So that's my guy Matt going very heavy wide receiver build. And again, the way you can build your roster, I feel like with the fact that 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, 2 flex, I actually think that gives it a little bit more flexibility where it's like, whether you want to say, I don't feel like I have to be pot committed to wide receiver, nor do I have to be pot committed to running back, because theoretically I could start 4 wide receiver to 2 running back. I could start 4 running back to 2 wide receiver. It just depends how my draft ends up building out. So I don't hate the 0 running back move if that's how you want to play it. And especially I think in most leagues, the running backs kind of last a little bit longer. Like he could have, I think in a lot of leagues, he would have actually been deciding between Kyren Williams and Devon Achane there. But the fact that there was that big running back run right before him too, I think it was smart to pivot to wide receiver there. And I'm not the wide receiver guy by any means, because I think, again, this is a really deep year for wide receiver, but I just think that was a smart move to pivot there. Excuse me. Oh, yeah. Okay, so then we get Josh Allen off the board, and then Jalen Waddle and Travis Kelce, which I think is a bold move. In this, now again, it's redraft. I get that, but there's no tight end premium here. So you're basically saying Travis Kelce's going back to being number 1 with a bullet. And while I believe that, I don't know why that pick still somehow makes me nervous in the 3rd. I would have liked that pick a lot better. So again, here's a perfect example. If I was Ron, I probably would have started McCaffrey, and I think I would have been ballsy enough to go Mahomes Kelce there. It's a little bit of a reach, but I do really believe that they can get back to true form of being the number 1 and number 1 in terms of fantasy quarterback and fantasy tight end. I think the speed factor of Worthy in Hollywood when he comes back is underrated, not in what it does so much for those 2 individual players, but what it does for the rest of the team. When you talk about the way that it opens up the rest of the field, because that's what was happening last year. It's like you have no wide receivers. It means you have no outside threats. You have no speed. You have no one that you have to respect trying to break open the defense. And so you can allow the safeties to cheat forward a little bit. And now all of a sudden you can kind of work like these 2 and 3 on ones around Travis Kelce. And Travis Kelce, being goated the way he is, still managed a pretty decent season, but it obfuscated what would have been a normal dominant Travis Kelce tight end 1 fantasy season. So if Worthy in particular hits, where he just is able to make the safeties have to respect him enough when he's on the field that they play even 3 to 5 yards back, that's huge for Travis Kelce. Seconds and milliseconds matter at the NFL level. So after Travis Kelce there, we see Devontae Adams get auto-picked. My guy is driving right now. I was just talking to him. He said he will live with any auto-picks that happen. But he does look like he got back in. And then Mahomes goes next. I don't know if I would have gone naked Mahomes there, but I also don't hate the pick. Now this is single quarterback. So I can tell you guys, I'm going to out myself right here. I'm going to give away my strategy, even though I know I have league mates watching me. Guys, I'm going to be punting quarterback. I don't know if you know this, but quarterback's really deep this year, and I don't want any of them. Oh, my guy's going to make me have a really tough decision here. because there is a running back that I'm super in love with. But we already went running back heavy early, and I see probably my favorite wide receiver pairing, I think, because they play each other in week 17, and they just both, I think, are in line for dominant seasons as the number one on their team. I'm going with DJ Moore and DK Metcalf. Boom, boom! Just going to go wide receiver, wide receiver. Now I got my core of my team is filled now. I've got running back, wide receiver. Just it's like we went hook, and then we came back with a jab straight. So I like the way our team is building out. Now we've got my guy here. I wonder if he's feeling like the pressure of, am I going to reach here for Mandrews? I don't think he will. He goes Laporta. He goes with the off. That's interesting. I mean, it's good value to get Laporta in the fourth. I don't hate that. And obviously, I feel like it would have been a huge reach to take Mark Andrews there. Mark Andrews clearly would not have made it back. So, I think that's funny though, going with the onesie positions there. Oh, James Cook. So James Cook was the running back that I was kind of thinking about at the 3-12-4-1 there when I took the wide receiver combo. If I had not gone running back to start off, I actually probably would have taken James Cook there, just because I already have so much DK Metcalf, especially, and I have a decent amount of DJ Moore. And the thing with Metcalf, as much as I love Metcalf, every time I take Metcalf, it feels like I can't take JSN later. And I really like taking JSN in those kind of mid to late yucky rounds where people are like, oh, there's no wide receivers that I like. It's like, yeah, JSN's just staring you in the face, but nobody likes him there. But yeah, after Sam Laporta with the off-color stack goes Trey McBride. I like that pick a lot by Streets, and then James Cook. And now we're waiting for my guy Jay. And again, coming in from the hockey world, he's probably making some critical decisions right now. Ooh, 4 wide receiver start. That is bold. That is spicy. You know, again, I think that bodes to research, I guess, for fantasy football. It is half PPR. But at the same time, I don't know. I prefer a more balanced build. This looks like a best ball start almost. But hey, I don't hate it. Again, double wide receiver, double flex. He could start all 4 of those wide receivers. If all 4 of those wide receivers hit and he's starting them every single week in his lineup, that is a really strong core of points. And then we see Joe Mixon, we see Mark Andrews. So we're seeing a little bit of a tight end run. I think tight end's probably the other position that I'll be waiting on. It's looking like quarterback and tight end, the way those are going to fall. I'm probably just not going to mess with them. There's just quarterback, especially, I feel like there are so many quarterbacks that I like going super late, especially in single quarterback. So I'm in this weird league. Shout out to my guy Razorback, which is actually Tyler Bradley. He runs fantasysportsadvice.network. He's got the Jersey leagues going on right now. So those are leagues where we all compete to win a signed jersey. I honestly can't remember the name. I can't remember what jersey I'm competing for. I just know I'm in the IDP league. And so not only is it IDP, just the way the scoring's set up, it's like super tilted to running backs and running quarterbacks. And when I say super tilted, David Montgomery has like all 300 to 350 fantasy point seasons. Like Josh Allen scored 700 fantasy points in this format, like above your typical passing quarterback who's getting like 500 fantasy points. And it was a single quarterback league. So like it made the value really weird to where like I waited and I got Jaden Daniels in the 7th because of the rushing upside. I thought someone might jump on that early, so I decided to be the early one. And then I actually waited and I got another quarterback just to back him up because of that. I ended up taking Jordan Love in like the 12th or something. So it's like at the end of the day, I love that 1-2 punch in a league like that with such huge upside for rushing quarterback. And then I have a guy I can just rely on in Jordan Love where I'll mix and match him and Jaden Daniels. If Daniels doesn't work out, then again, in a 10-man like that, there's going to be quarterbacks available for streaming. You know, one of the pieces of advice I gave in the video that I'll drop on Sunday was to watch out for drops. And Justin Fields, I feel like, is a lottery ticket this year, even though he was not named the starter, which I predicted. Like, I did not expect him to start the season. If he plays 8 to 10 games, he's going to be extremely relevant for fantasy football. And if you can afford to hold him, there's not tons of rosters where you're always going to be able to do that. Like in this league, for example, I'm probably not trying to hold a dead spot on my 6-man bench for 8 weeks. But, you know, some of these leagues that you're playing in have, 10, 12 bench spots. Like I did a draft recently. Shout out to Football Guys. They invited me into their inaugural Football Guys Bowl. And that league has like 10 or 12 bench spots. Like it's a really deep bench because there's no IR. And I drafted Justin Fields in that league, again, because he's a cheat code. And I just kind of put him in my back pocket, forget he's there. And, again, I'll work with the other 8 bench spots. Like, it's fine. And then if he doesn't start by week 8, that's when I'll probably tap out. Like, if I'm desperately needing that bench spot for some reason. All right, let's get back into this draft a little bit here. We've got... Excuse me. So after, did I leave my water? Oh, my water's right here. Okay. After my guy Jay took the Cooper Kupp with the 4 wide receiver approach, we saw Joe Mixon go off the board, and then Mark Andrews, Alvin Kamara. My guy Razor going 3 running backs to start. That's heavy. And then we saw Neighbors go. Kenneth Walker, Michael Pittman, and again, shout out to my guy Matt with the best ball bill going 4 wide receivers off the bat. And I like except for Olave, who I'm not a huge fan of, I really like his wide receivers. I like Tyreek, I like Debo, I like Michael Pittman a lot too. Michael Pittman, if you believe in Anthony Richardson at all, you should believe in Michael Pittman. And if, God forbid, anything happens to Anthony Richardson, old man Joe Flacco is going to step in, and we've all seen what that can do for wide receivers. We saw it for Amari Cooper last year. So I really like Michael Pittman. And then we saw my guy Ronnie going with Devonta Smith and George Kittle. Wow, that's a bit of a reach on Kittle, but again, home league. And I like the way that he's thinking where he is stacking San Fran and Philadelphia players. So just take players from the best teams. I don't hate it. Oh, that's a bit of a homer pick. I think if I remember, my guy Matt's a Vikings fan, taking Aaron Jones there. But again, after taking 4 wide receivers, he needed a running back. I don't think Aaron Jones is terrible. And then we see Stephon Diggs go. I feel like people are really out on Stephon Diggs. Though for me, I'm not out on him, but I am in every other format. So in best ball and redraft, I am of the opinion that Stephon Diggs is going to have a really good year this year, because technically speaking, he is on a contract year. And I also think that just the way that he kind of broke out with the Vikings, and then the way he had his best year the first year he landed in Buffalo, it's kind of his MO of like, he's a bit of a shooting star where he really shines bright at the beginning, but because he shines so bright, it's like he fizzles out with that franchise. And I think it's because of the attitude, but I think people are thinking he's just fizzled out and that he can't shine bright anymore. And I disagree. I think he's going to shine bright this year and then fizzle out even more quickly than the last time. And then we see Rashee Rice, who's probably going to avoid suspension. We're all assuming, I think, at this point. And then George Pickens. My guy, Razor, taking Pickens as his first wide receiver off the board. I don't hate that. I feel like Pickens with Russ, I think is going to be better than with Fields, but I also don't think that he's going to be irrelevant with Fields because it's like DJ Moore was relevant with Fields. It's just that nobody else was. And I kind of feel the same way about George Pickens. If we're assuming that Justin Fields is starting the back half of the season. So I do think it'll be less consistent is the only thing. I do think Russ can provide like a more consistent version of George Pickens. Oh, Patty. Don't get autoed again, my guy. He's getting autoed with auto. CJ Stroud, that's not a bad pick. Again, he said he's going to live with it. So, happens in every home league. But, yeah, he said he was driving. I told him, I was like, bro, pull over, set a queue. That's what I legitimately, I can tell you guys, if I was driving down the highway and I had a draft starting in 5, I'd be looking for, like, a place where I could just pull over to the side and just set a queue. Literally, I would put my fucking hazards on and just sit there and set a queue. Like, imagine getting pulled over because like someone stops, like someone kind of slows up to you, like they're like, "Hey, are you okay?" And you're like, "Oh yeah, I just got my fantasy football draft." That's some real shit. Oh man, all right, Zay Flowers, ugh, fucking Zay Flowers. Zay Flowers is a terrible pick.
Go fuck yourself.
Haha, Sean, that's what you get for making fun of me earlier. He just said he was going to beat me and Will, who is on the clock right now. Also, I like the Kyler Murray pick there by my guy Jay. Jay's been studying up, putting Kyler Murray and MHJ together with a little stack there. So I like that a lot. I think it's a really good, strong start for his first draft in this league. So here, let's play a game. It's only 5 rounds in. Who do I think is finishing last? Ooh. I don't think it's Jaeger, as much as I want to say it's him, because I like the rainbow build. So I think he's going to be a strong contender kind of no matter what. Like he's going to be able to fill in waivers and stuff around those guys. So I like that. I mean, honestly, right now, it's probably me. I think Hurski would be another contender too, just because, taking A-Shane and Waddle, if both of them kind of just struggle with injuries all year, and then Malik Neighbors struggles with having Daniel Jones as his quarterback, and just what if Rashee Rice, the suspension actually does end up coming down and we don't expect it, and he gets suspended for the last 6 games of the season or something crazy? Like, you never know. So I'm going to say it's me and Hurski are fighting for last place right now, and I'm only saying that really to fuck with him because he won last year. So that's our defending league champ. Oh, I did not do well in this league last year, to be perfectly honest. Again, Nick Chubb was my first pick, and he got destroyed like week 2. I had Najee Harris, who just was like myopic for most of the year, and by the time I gave up on him, and he started doing well. DeAndre Swift. Did you snipe me on that? No, because he's a piece of shit. He fucking sucks. I talked about it earlier. Weren't you listening? He's terrible. I'm kind of fucking around, but also I'm not. I'm really not. He is kind of garbage. Okay. What are we doing here? Oh, shit. Okay. I see paths. I see things I want to do. Do I want to get real funky with it? I don't know if I want to do that. I just talked shit about Najee Harris. It would be really funny to take him because I actually think he's going to be really good this year because of Arthur Smith. He's definitely not making it back to me. Ugh. It feels so gross after last year. Okay, no. We are gonna go with. I know I want Evan Ingram for sure, because to me he's like the number one receiving option. Oh. I'm very torn with this next pick. There is a part of me that wants to go double tight end. This is not tight end premium. You can flex tight ends. It's kind of stupid. I feel like I'm just going to end up trading one of them, and I hate drafting to trade. So, no, I'm not going to do it. We're going to go with Scary Terry. I actually have not taken a lot of Scary Terry. That's what we're doing. Terry McLaurin. I was considering James Conner also. I was kind of between James Conner, Kyle Pitts, and Scary Terry. And I could see really the path for all of them. I'm much more of like handcuff the running back. Like if I took James Conner there, I just know that if I saw Trey Benson on the board in like the ninth, I would feel really obligated to do that. And I just really didn't want to. So instead, I went with Evan Ingram. That one was easy peasy for me because I feel like Evan Ingram is just locked into his role. I feel like he is as guaranteed to finish in the top five, especially, just the amount of receptions that he gets. But I think he's essentially like number one target for that team. Like at the bare minimum, he's number two. But like even in fucking preseason games, he's out here catching 2 touchdowns. If Trevor Lawrence can take a step forward, if the Jaguars offense takes a step forward, I think Evan Ingram could be even better than he was last year. And he was actually phenomenal last year. And the fact that I got him after kind of the main pack of tight ends, like the only other, I was thinking pretty hard about Kyle Pitts there, but I've been burned before by Kyle Pitts. What's going on here? All right. So we kind of skipped over David Montgomery from my guy Will. I really love David Montgomery this year, I should say. I've been starting to rise a lot on him. Again, especially I think I took him in that weird scoring league I talked about with the super juiced running backs. T. Higgins, worst draft pick that exists on the face of the planet. I will never give any credit to T. Higgins. But hey, shout out to my guy Streets. We used to do a podcast together way back in the day before I ever even thought about starting this channel. He was like he was the brains and I was the buffoon, so it fit. I kept the buffoon part, but now we just got no brains on this show. But yeah, he took T. Higgins and then DeAndre Swift. And then I do like James Conner. I do like Amari Cooper. Joe Burrow goes off the board. And then Raheem Mostert, Colonel Mostert. At 6'5", though, I mean, I get it. It's Miami. But I don't know. I feel like the Mostert thing is definitely going to regress this year. I think I would have maybe gone with Najee Harris there. But again, I understand it's gross. The thing with Najee is that, Dalton Kincaid is still on the board too? That's kind of crazy. I mean, Kincaid is definitely like the number one for that. He's another one. Scares the bejesus out of me though. When they were coming out of college, Sam Laporta and Dalton Kincaid, all right, last year, I was like determining between. That's a hilarious pick by Patty. I'm sorry, I have to cut myself off there. Anthony Richardson after you took CJ Stroud, slam dunk.
Do you want to see me dunk?
Sure.
Yeah? Okay. Are you guys ready? I'm okay. No, don't worry.
Does that always happen?
This is definitely a case of I got auto drafted that last pick, so I'm going to take the quarterback I actually want on this pick, and I'll end up trading that quarterback later. And I can see the whole thought process as it's laid out. It's so funny. But anyway, sorry to get back to before I so rudely cut myself off there. Last year, I was a Sam Laporta guy over Kincaid, and it was. I feel like for me, it really comes down to like simple reasons why I'm in or out on guys. Like I feel like you get so much analytics in fantasy football, and I understand it, but sometimes the simple answer is just the answer, right? So I looked at Dalton Kincaid and I looked at Sam Laporta. Sam Laporta going to a team with Jared Goff, an established number one receiver in Amon-Ra St. Brown, and playing in relatively safe games. And again, the way that he operates, he's a very smooth route runner. He actually kind of avoids like a lot of big hits, and that really helps you survive and have longevity at the NFL level. Meanwhile, when I looked at Dalton Kincaid, it was like every time this motherfucker high pointed a ball, he came down like he was the fucking comet in Armageddon trying to kill the earth. Like it was, this man was crashing through the grass. Like it's insane. And so I was very scared for his long-term potential. Now he did play most of the season, but he had Stephon Diggs, he had Gabe Davis, and you know, Josh Allen looked like shit last year from a passing perspective. The dude had 18 interceptions. I feel like it's being wildly overlooked how badly he progressed in passing. I do not have Josh Allen finishing as a top 5 fantasy quarterback this year because I think the rushing is going to regress. I think the passing stays about the same, which is regressed from where it was. I think the Joe Brady offense gets figured out sooner rather than later, and we're going to be hearing about it by like weeks 6 to 8. We're going to be like, oh, why did the Buffalo Bills struggle, and why is the offense not clicking, and why did things not look the way that we expected, and they're just running the ball up the middle, and Joe Brady's going to be the fucking answer. Watch. So I've been drafting James Cook and like nobody else from the Bills, and I feel kind of alone in that. I mean, Josh Allen's come to me. Like, I literally got auto-drafted Josh Allen in Superflex at 101, and I was pissed about it. That should tell you how I feel about it this year. But going from Raheem, oh my fuck. Wow. Ugh. Oh. Oh, no. Oh. Oh, Jesus. Oh. That's an auto pick, and a very unfortunate one. I think it's like I told you to set a queue. I didn't tell you to put Dallas fucking Goedert in your queue. Dallas Goedert, who has never. Oh, I almost feel like I should change it now. Dallas Goedert, who has never surpassed 850 receiving yards, has never had 60 receptions, has never had more than 5 touchdowns in his career. Ugh. Wretched. Absolutely wretched. But yeah, from Mostert went Ramondre Stevenson, Anthony Richardson, Tony Pollard. So my guy Razor here building a super high T build. I love it. Hersky getting the value on Dalton Kincaid, slipping all the way to 6'9". And then my guy Mike getting the value on Kyle Pitts, slipping all the way to 6'10". Najee Harris goes to my guy Matt at 6'11", and the dreaded Dallas Goedert auto pick. And then Tank Dell. Okay, Tank Dell, that's a lot more reasonable of a pick. My God. That Dallas Goedert auto pick was disgusting. Jesus. I would rather have Jake Ferguson still on the board, I think. Yeah, Brock Bowers. And I would take every single one of those tight ends. above fucking Dallas Goddard. But yeah, that's my guy Ron again. He said he was teaching. I told him set a queue, tell the students to help you with your draft picks, figure it out, my guy. Unfortunately, this it's just that time of year, and again, it's hard to get it with 12 people. But we set this one's been set for a couple weeks now. So like again, the draft room too has been set for a minute. Like I reminded everyone tonight to set a queue, but like anyone could have gone. And this is why I do have it's buried somewhere on the channel. I should like pin it. But it's like my rules for drafting. The number 2 is set a queue. It's like to me, it's honestly should be number 1. I put it at number 2 because it rhymes. Number 2, set a queue. It just kind of sticks in your head that way. But it's probably the most important rule. And now the way that you set a queue, though, just as strategic as like just doing it randomly. Again, having Goddard in your queue is fine, but it's like you have to make sure that he's tiered appropriately so that like, oh, it's not like, oh, I'm taking Goddard over all these other relevant players that I would rather have. It's like, make sure all of those players are in the list ahead of fucking Dallas Goddard. So, I mean, at this point, like, oh. All right. So, yeah, after that, we see Dak Prescott, Keenan Allen, and Deontay Johnson go. Again, I don't know if I'm going to stream all 16 rounds of this. We'll see how far we can make it. I might have to cut out probably at like 8:15 because it is a school night. Not for me. I don't go to school anymore. Fuck school. But my daughter is still very much in school. Started grade 6, said today was the best opening school day ever. So dad goals accomplished. Yeah. So grade 6 split into 2 classes. I think we all remember those days. If you've ever been in a school, oh, Lad McConkey. McConkey! I'm a big McConkey guy, did you know? But yeah, if you guys remember back in those school days, if you ever got split into classes, if you had like 2 grade, like from grade 3 to 6, I feel like there were lots of schools where it was like you had 2 classes and you were like, please let me be in the one with my friends. Please let me be in the one with my friends. And then like if you didn't, you'd show up in one and it's like all these jabroni ass kids you never met in your life. But like, so yeah, my daughter got placed in the good group. Had a wicked ass day of school. And then when she got home, I had already gone to the store. I got her a Robux card, a Powerade, and we ordered in, got some pizza and wings because it's draft night, baby. We're celebrating. So yeah, it was a good day. It was a good night. But it also means I'm gonna have to do some dad duties. She's a little bit older, but still gotta like manage bedtime and all that sort of thing. So yeah, probably about 8:15, I'd say we'll cut out of here. So we might be by like probably around 12 by then. I also have another draft actually starting in 15 minutes. So I'm at the point now where like people are asking me and I'm like, no, please God, no more fantasy leagues. Oh man. Ooh. There's a lot of people I like. Okay, we are. Oh man. Okay. Am I going super wide receiver? Is that what's happening? I mean, that's what's on the. Okay, that's what we're doing. I gotta have Calvin Ridley here, and I gotta reach. He's not gonna make it back to me, I don't think. There is a chance, but I'm not gonna take that chance. Brian Thomas Jr. has to be on my team. I just need that to happen. So, yeah, we are going super wide receiver here now. But I don't hate it. I'm usually the running back guy, but I feel like I'm Just taking the value as it comes to me. This wide receiver room, if it hits, though, DJ Moore, DK Metcalf, Terry McLaurin, Calvin Ridley, and Brian Thomas Jr. That is very nice. Very nice. So yeah, we'll probably go like 12 deep. 12 deep. All right. Oh yeah, that's what I was saying. I've got a draft. Oh shit, I gotta charge my phone. I got a draft going on in 15 minutes. So I'm at the point where people are asking me to join drafts. So I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm realizing next year I'm gonna have to cut down on, I think, like my normal drafts in terms of like the amount of redraft and dynasty leagues that I'm in, because I'm in 25 now, 26 this year. But shout out to Dr. KJ Murray. I met him at the Fantasy Football Expo. Like me, he does interviews with other content creators in the fantasy football space. His look way better, like they're much more professional. So I really like what he does. If you guys have never heard of him or you don't follow his show or episodes, I highly recommend. It's just at Dr. KJ Murray on Twitter. You should be able to find it. But yeah, I guess the name of the show is Getting to Know, and then it's like the name of the person, or I think it's got an actual name, and I'm just forgetting it because I'm an idiot. But that's why my show's called The Worst. But yeah, he does like really amazing interviews with people, and gets like some of the bigger names. So he's had like I think one of the more recent ones that I remember was he had Jason Moore from the Fantasy Footballers on. So yeah. But yeah, sorry. Long-winded as always. He reached out to me on Twitter and asked if I would join a guillotine league that he was hosting. And because it was him, I said yes. So now I'm drafting that at 8 o'clock. And you know what I did? Because I'm pretty sure that because I'm going to be yapping away and drafting in here, I set a queue. All right, I got to get my charger, so while I do that, we'll take a 30-second dance party.
30-second dance party.
This is how we party.
All right, we are charged up metaphorically and literally. All right, after my Brian Thomas Jr. pick, we saw Roma Dunes, Chris Godwin, Jaden Reed, and Javonte Williams go off the board. A player I was also considering at the turn, still hanging out, but we said we are punting. So I'm gonna see how far this punt goes. And I'll also tell you, hey guys, strategy. I will also be punting my kicker and defense. I will be taking them in the last round. I do not give a shit who I end up taking. I will take whatever streaming option is available to me with my last pick. So there you go. If every single person in this draft besides me takes 2 defenses, that's 22 defenses. That means there will still be 10 left for me to pick from. Yeah, I'm not drafting a defense. Even with kicker, fuck kickers. I only keep them in this league, honestly, because I like to hate on them. But no, it's I'm a little bit of a traditionalist, and I feel like I'm pretty old school. Like, it's funny because I'm a video game tester. So I spend all day playing on like a PS5, and then as soon as I get off work, I'm like, okay, cool, let's turn this off so that I can play my Super Nintendo or my Nintendo 64 or my Game Boy, or more often than not, to be perfectly honest, it's my PS3. I have very specific old games that I like for very specific reasons. So, like, when I play Madden, to me, that means I'm playing Madden 2013. What? Why do you play Madden 2000? Well, let me explain to you why I played Madden 2013. It's because of the Madden bug. If you're not familiar, there's a bug that exists in all the Madden franchises, at least for sure that I know of, from 2014 to 2018. So I could be playing, like, they have it for P3, the 2015, 16, 17 versions. But yeah, they all have the Madden bug, which is basically it corrupts your franchise mode, which is the only mode I play. It's offline. You build your franchise over so many years, and you'll be like 10 years in, and it'll just fuck up, and you just kind of lose all what you did, and that shit takes months. So the only way I could describe it would be like if you played fucking like Elder Rings or some shit for like months on end and like got through like half the game and then someone just erased your shit. Or like The Witcher 3. You just played half of The Witcher 3 and then someone just yanked it and they're like, fuck you. Like that's what it feels like. So obviously, so I play on Madden in 2013 because I looked it up, and that's the one with the newest game mechanics that is closest to the current version that exists in the modern day, but doesn't have the bug that fucks up your franchise mode. So I can play for 20, 30, 40 fucking years, retire the coach, whatever I want. So that's how I play Madden. My other favorite games on my PS3, and the reason I keep it is because of Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas. I have the expanded editions for both. And Far Cry 3, Far Cry 4, again, expanded editions for both. Batman Arkham City, special edition. So it's like all my favorite games. I've got like the expanded special editions that had all the DLCs and shit. And they're hard copies. I'm a fucking physical copy type of guy. This digital shit is a fugazi. It's a wazoozi. It's for the birds. The shit, they take the shit away from you. You're like, oh, they take my digital copy. What do I do? You know what I do? Pop in a DVD. That's what I fucking do. I'm gonna watch Speed for the 140th time after this. That's what I'm gonna do. Holy shit. All right. Getting back to the board here. So after Javonte Williams, we saw Brock Bowers, Jordan Addison, Keon Coleman, Jalen Warren. That's basically a useless pick. Apologies to you, Hersky. You're finishing last just because you took fucking Jalen Warren. No, I'm kidding, but Jalen Warren, if you're out there listening to the sound of my voice, stop drafting Jalen fucking Warren. He's useless in the system, guys. He's going to be great for us as a Pittsburgh Steelers, a complimentary running back who you will fucking hate for fantasy because he will be wholly irrelevant as he splits the backup running back duties with Cordero fucking Patterson. Like, this is Arthur Smith we're talking about, guys. If he could have fed Tyler Algier the ball 250, 300 times, he would have. Well, guess what? Najee Harris is his Tyler Algier with higher draft capital and technically more cachet on this team than Jalen Warren. You know why Jalen Warren looked so fucking good last year? Because Matt Canada is a fucking asshole and had us running out of shotgun formation 7 yards behind the fucking line of scrimmage. It didn't make any goddamn sense. I was ripping my hair out. Arthur Smith was brought in because he runs the highest percentage of two tight end sets in the NFL, mostly out of single back formation. These are power football sets, people. This is Najee Harris's bread and butter. They looked like dog shit in the preseason. You know who's the only player who looks good right now? Najee fucking Harris. Stop drafting Jalen Warren. Jalen Warren is fetch. It's not going to fucking happen. Anyways, my guy Mike, I actually love his picks that came after JSN. Shout out to my guy Hoove. We have a standing bet on Lad McConkey versus JSN, who has the higher finish this season for fantasy football. But I still really like JSN. That's not a bet on how much I hate JSN. It's a bet on how much I love Latin McConkey. I can't help but say his name that way. David Njoku, Batman villain, goes next. And then we get the dreaded auto pick, Zach Moss and Christian Watson. It's actually not terrible for his team. He really needed a running back there. And, Christian Watson, if he stays healthy, gives him a pretty good receiving room, I guess. Not my favorite, though. Brian Robinson, solid. Jordan Love, that was the quarterback I was actually considering all the way back at 8-1. So for Mike to get him there at 9-3, huge value. Love that for him. And then we see Chase Brown, Zeke, old man Zeke. Razor can't help but take the old man value. Hollywood with no collarbone. I don't know if he picked him on purpose that time. No, yeah. It's like you may as well just let the auto pick fucking go, because that was worse than an auto pick. But if and when Hollywood does come back, now I will say in this league we have IR spots, so he can just pop him on IR, grab a waiver guy to replace him, and when he comes back, he'll have him available. So that is a strategy to consider. The Gus Bus goes next, and then we see Jerome Ford. I love Jerome Ford. I really love what my guy Jay's doing here, going 4 wide receiver, getting his QB, and then going 4 running backs, really punting the tight end spot. And then Jonathan Brooks goes, and then Jaden Daniels goes. That's weird. I don't know why you would go double quarterback there. Maybe, I guess it is 2 running quarterbacks, so like you kind of balance out like if one is healthy or not, but yeah, it's weird. I wouldn't have done that. I'm just going to stick with my mantra. I have been punting the shit out of those quarterbacks. And, I do see my favorite one, though. Fuck. Oh, my God. Now I'm like having life decisions right now. Genuinely. One of my favorite quarterbacks is available to me right here. But I also see 2 really high upside running backs that I feel like are potential league winners. And I only have 2 running backs right now. Shit. Oh, fuck it. No, we're sticking to our guns. We're punting quarterback. Trey Benson, Blake Corum, welcome to the team, gentlemen. So I actually have a couple builds where I've done this. I think I did this in Scott Fishbowl. I have one best ball where I know I took. Now in that best ball, what I did was I took Connor and Kyron earlier, and then I took Benson and Corum to just be like, I have those 2 backfields. And then I only took like one other running back. I think it was like Tony Pollard or something. So it was like essentially like I took 5 running backs to take 3 running backs all year. And it was because like when you do that, it's like when you make a 5 running back build, you end up with like 9 and 10 wide receivers, and like, or if you want to take like 3 tight end, 3 quarterback, you kind of fuck around a little bit. So that's kind of where I'm going with it. But again, Benson breaks out, Corum breaks out. All of a sudden, I've got 2 league winners attached to a team that already has Derrick Henry and Saquon and just a shit ton of wide receivers. So I really think this is, I'm loving this right now. I bet Jaeger was out here like, I'm going to snipe him because he took McLaurin and he probably wants to. No, I don't know. I'm not a huge Jaden Daniels guy. I kind of was pre-draft. I don't know if it's his elbow that scared me or the fact that he's like very RG3-esque in that he does not slide. I'm like, I also feel like if I take Jaden Daniels, I also must take like another quarterback later. So it's like, well, if I'm gonna do that, then I get the upside because of the rushing, but it's just not my thing. But I'm loving the core we got right now. We got our onesie tight end. I'm totally fine waiting on quarterback. There's still a bunch of quarterbacks available right now, and there's a bunch going to be coming back around the bend that I'm totally comfortable with. And we waited. We waited all the way to double digits. So I really love this team right now. The fact that I've got 3 super high value rookies on my bench that can just kind of accrue value throughout the year. And I'm looking at this starting lineup of, I've got Saquon, Derrick Henry, DJ Moore, DK Metcalf, Evan Ingram, Terry McLaurin, Calvin Ridley. Boom. That's fucking locked in for week 1. So, yeah, I'm super loving this right now. I'm actually feeling pretty confident in this draft. Let's kind of see what everybody else has going on. We're almost in the 12th here. I'm going to pull up. I'm going to try and do 2 drafts at the same time while I'm streaming because I got that guillotine draft going on, like I said. Oh. Jesus Christ. I just got this is that point of the year where it's like I just got a million fucking things going on. I got best ball bets going on right now, too. Yeah, the Hawkinson pick is really weird now that I'm looking at it. Bro, you didn't take Tua? Fuck you. Yo, Matthew Yeager. I'm talking to you through your television right now. Fuck you for not taking Hawk Tua there. You're going to take Hawkinson and not Tua? You already have Lamar. Like, you didn't need another high-risk running court. You needed Tua with his high passing. That's what you needed. You needed Hawk Tua. Bro, I'm disappointed in you. Genuinely. It's like when your parents are like, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. Okay, what is going on with this fucking weird-ass app? I don't know what app this is that he's got me on for this Guillotine League. This is crazy. This thing's like not working right now. I don't know what's going on. Oh, it just crashed on me. That's nice. Well, that's lovely. Bro, sleeper is the way. Fucking Mike, you're in this league. You're on the clock right now. Yahoo is balls. Yahoo sucks. Yahoo is like going to a fucking orgy, but you don't get to participate. You just watch your wife have sex with everybody else. Yahoo is just fucking garbage. What is this bullshit? Bro, this fucking Guillotine app having a heart attack on me right now. I'm gonna have to like go do this. Oh. Okay, I'm gonna have to figure out how I can do that on desktop. Oh, I can't do that with you guys though. Oh, I can do this over here though. I'm probably just gonna end up getting auto drafted that draft, but it's a Guillotine League. I kind of did it as a favor, and I did Q. So, oh, Justin Tucker goes at 10-10 there. That's funny. I will say it is some pretty decent kicker scoring in this league. I think I have it set to 3-3-3-4-5, if I remember right. All right. My God, is that the league of all? I'm realizing this might be the Guillotine League might be through some mutual friends of mine. It's not working anymore on the desktop than it was on. Oh yeah, this thing's just dead. All right. Well, I don't know what's going on with that, but we'll just forget about it. Yeah, it's on some weird. It's some app called Guillotine, and the app's crashing right now. And I tried the on desktop, and it crashed too. They must be having like some server errors. So I think the whole thing's just crashing. They might have to just reschedule that draft. I don't really know. This is why Sleeper's king, guys. Fuck Yahoo. Fuck all these other apps trying to play. Sleeper is the way. So, yeah, we get my guy Mike here at the turn going Justin Tucker and then San Francisco 49ers. We get Adonai Mitchell. We get Caleb Williams auto-drafted as a second quarterback, Curtis Samuel. And then we get Butt Kicker, Harrison Butker. All right, I think we're going to go to the end of this round. I'll make my picks, and then we're going to call it a night is what we're going to do. We're already going like an hour 15 on this stream. I actually wouldn't mind if people watch this back at some point. I feel like when people see the like 1 hour, 45 minutes, it's daunting as a watch back. I already feel like an hour 15 is a lot, but hey, we're here now. So Pretty Licious goes next. Plus, I got to see if I can figure out what the hell's going on with that Guillotine league. Also, secretly, not so secretly, we talked about it earlier, but I got to put my daughter to bed. I got to deal with my own shit. So, all right. Getting a little bit of a quarterback run. My guy, Razor, taking the naked Trevor Lawrence there. I was secretly maybe hoping Trevor Lawrence would make it back to me, but I shouldn't be surprised because Razor, huge Trevor Lawrence fan, so he would take a naked Trevor there. And again, there's still at least 3. How many quarterbacks that I would want as my QB1? Let's see. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 quarterbacks that I'm still comfortable with as my QB1, and then there's a bunch of guys I'm fine with as like streaming options. So, yeah, we played quarterback chicken, I think, as long as we could, and we played it very effectively. I think the only other person, shout out to my guy Streets. Is there anybody else that was brave like us? No. So, yeah, oh, man, I just realized he sniped my guy Mike there at 7-2 and took Dak. We could have stacked him with CD. That sucks. That's funny. Oh, I love home leagues. But yeah, my guy Streets here is the only other person who punted quarterback as long as I did. So shout out to you, sir. The brave, the bold, the beautiful. All right. Romeo Dubs, Mr. Consistency himself. Hey, if you guys have any, there's 15 eyeballs I see. If anybody has questions or comments about, you got 5 minutes left before I'm probably make my picks and get the hell out of here. So now's the time. If you have any questions for redraft, anything like that. Otherwise, just to do some tidying up, Sunday, we got the pre-recorded show coming out for I Drafted. What do I do now? So that'll be a really good episode. It's not very long. I actually did more of like a bonus episode length. It's like 20-ish minutes because this was coming out early. So we've got, this fucking idiot too. Shout out to Jaeger. Just put in the group chat like, both of my quarterbacks have the same bye. Yeah, there you go. That's what you get. That's what you get for thinking you were sniping me on Jaden Daniels. Instead, you were really just fucking yourself over because you took 2 quarterbacks with the same bye. And again, Jaden Daniels is just like, you hope Jaden Daniels turns into Lamar Jackson. How many weeks are you going to legitimately stare at Lamar Jackson and Jaden Daniels and say to yourself, oh yeah, I'm starting Jaden Daniels over Lamar this week? Like, Bro, that pick didn't make any sense. Oh, Will going 2 quarterback and taking 2 off the board. That's a snipey little pick. That's a snipey little sniper. I actually probably would have taken 2 if he made it as far back to me. I think Streets would have taken him. Oh, but he goes Jared Giff. That sucks. That one is that actually feels like, because I almost took Goff at 10-1. I was kind of hoping he would make it back to me. And as soon as I saw Tua go there, I was like, fuck, I'm the one that's gonna get sniped now. Oh, we did the Justin Herbert's experience last season. It was not the most fun. So fuck it. We're just gonna keep punting quarterback. Is that what we're doing? That's what we're doing. Let's see. Who do we have here? Oh, okay. Maybe we're not. We are officially in the gross part of the draft. So yeah, I think this is a good time. Let's make a pick here. Okay. You know what? We're gonna go double quarterback. Actually, we're gonna take 2 of the guys that I was comfortable with. I will take Justin Herbert because he is the most assured. But because there is a little bit of questionable nature with that row offense, scares me a little bit. I am going to just take a traditional passer in Matt Stafford. And I'm very comfortable with that. And I'll have a couple picks to build some depth on my team here. But yeah, Herbert and Stafford, very comfortable with that as a start. Again, the only one if Jared Goff would have made it there to me, I would have been fucking ecstatic. Like legitimately, I would have taken Goff just as a single quarterback, and I would have been running to the bank. Jared Goff, one of my favorite quarterbacks in single quarterback format, has like 14 dome games this year. I mean, the entire offense theoretically is so young; they should still be taking a step forward potentially. I think he could. I think he could flirt with like legitimately MVP this year. So I really like Jared Goff. I was hoping he was the one that was going to slip to me there. When I saw Will take fucking Tua as the second quarterback, home leagues, right? I kind of had a feeling Streets would end up taking Goff there. So it's like I would have been fine with Tua or Goff. I preferred Goff because I feel like he's safer, but both of them got sniped. Just a couple picks. But I will say Justin Herbert and Matt Stafford at 11-12 as a consolation prize. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Again, single quarterback. I'll play the matchups. Again, very comfortable with those 2 guys. And because of it, we were able to get a really good core roster. Especially, I really loved my 5 wide receivers. And I think Benson and Corum, like I said, they both have tremendous breakout value. Just looking at probably like the roster I would say I'm most jealous of. I mean, I did like him getting Goff really late, but that Freiermuth pick, Muth's not going to be good in the Steelers offense, I don't think. Like he's out here splitting snaps with fucking like Darnell Washington and just some other jabroni that's there for blocking. He's not going to have the opportunities you think. He's going to have to wait on Jonathan Brooks, which I don't hate that. You can throw him in the IR and maybe grab some guy off waivers, and maybe that's his league winner. But then, Gibbs struggling with his own hammy right now. I don't believe in Rachaad White. I hate T. Higgins. I like the rest of his wide receivers, though. I really like Sean's build. He didn't go in with a plan, he said, but just kind of the way it turned out. Getting Mahomes, and you start with Amon-Ra and Puka. I don't really like Zay Flowers, but Courtland Sutton is solid. You know what? My guy Mike, I'll give him some love. I do like CD, Pacheco, Josh Allen. Not a huge fan of it. And then Kenneth Walker, Diggs, Pitts. I feel like he got sniped on Dak Prescott here and ended up going with Keenan Allen, which I don't JSN, Jordan Love. That's a weird thing of like, I don't think you need 2 quarterbacks in Josh Allen and Jordan Love. And it's like, you're going to be trying to use one as a trade target. And from what I'm looking at this league right now, I'm like, okay, well, who are you going to trade with? Because it's not going to be me. I don't give a shit. Like, I would barely give you anything for him. Again, I could just stream. I can stream for the same effect. Like, and plus, I took a couple guys that I'm fine with. Again, and everybody else, I feel like took pretty solid quarterbacks across the board. Like, maybe if Trevor Lawrence doesn't work out, maybe if Brock Purdy doesn't work out, like one of these guys. Again, with Josh, if you take the leap on Josh Allen, you don't need a second quarterback in a single-digit round. There were still effective players. Like, I really like Jerome Ford there, and you only have 2 running backs. I think Ford would have fit your build a lot better. Even if you took Jonathan Brooks and you were the guy that wanted to wait on Brooks, I think that would be more effective too. And then, honestly, if you did that, you could wait, and then at 10-10, you could have taken Chuba. And then you would have had Panthers running back for the entire season. So there were other strategies, I think, but I do like the rest of his build. I'm not the guy that reaches on defense, but I get it. Oh, he's getting autoed now too. Oof. All right, well, we got a couple auto picks. We are officially through 12 rounds of this home league draft. I won't torture you guys with the rest again. Just a little bit of house cleaning. Sunday, we're going to have an episode that comes out. It's just going to be a little short one. If you guys could please subscribe and go check that out when it comes out on Sunday. But otherwise, I will be back with you guys probably Wednesday night. At the latest, it will be Thursday. And then we'll be back Sunday morning. We're bringing back the Sunday morning live streams. I get up early, so I'll be doing them at 9 a.m. before everybody else does their big run of live streams. I also like to get ready for the games and stuff myself and join on other people's live streams. So I feel like it's the perfect time. So the Sunday live streams at 9 a.m., those are 100% locked in coming back. And then the rest of the week during the season, Monday is going to have shows, whether they are sometimes very late Sunday night lives, which would be pretty rare. But then most of the time, those are probably going to be pre-records that have to go up on Monday during the day, unless I do wait until after work, and then on occasion I could do some Monday lives also. So we'll play with that, and then the other one is going to be, like I said, Wednesday, Thursday. So yeah, super kick, subscribe button. Make sure you guys are following. Do all the algorithmic bullshit. But until the next time, catch all of you guys on the flip side.
He's running down the middle by the 50. He's at the 30. He's bare-chested and banging his chest. Now he runs the opposite way. He runs at the 50. He runs at the 40. The guy is drunk, but there he goes. The 20. They're chasing him. They're not going to get him. Waving his arms, bare-chested. Somebody stop that man. Here comes